Hello everyone, welcome to an Ninjago video. Today I'm talking about Ninjago Crystalized. This season I think was released like one or 2 years, two maybe. Actually, I think it's coming up on 3 years ago. My gosh, time passes by so fast. Yeah, it's old enough by now. Anyways, so Crystalized is a controversial season to say the least. Not only do I consider it season 16, some do as well. They're considered season 15 because of the island. Whatever you like. That's just a minor thing. Honestly, I don't like it, so I'm gonna be complaining about it for a lot of this video. But I do have one thing that I actually really love about the season, and that's what I'm gonna mention first. This season, in my opinion, has the best animation out of all Ninjago we have seen so far for at least the series. Like, this season is beautiful to watch. The animation is great. It looks actually, I know since they're all Lego people, it can't be the best, but some of like the fabric in the season, like some of this stuff actually looks really realistic. And it just looks beautiful. Not only just the animation quality, but the fight scenes are the best. Like when Wu fights the Overlord, that is one of the best fight scenes, in my opinion, in the entire series, along with him fighting the Crystal Council. That is also one of the best. I haven't decided what the best is. I'll make a video when I figured out what I think are the best fighting scenes in the series. I haven't figured that out yet, though, but those are going to be on that list, I bet. If it's the top 10, at least, they probably will. So those are great. Besides that, I want to mention my number one complaint first, now that I've said my number one appreciation, also my only appreciation, really, or my only one that was worth mentioning in this video. Maybe some episodes have small things I like, but um, Lloyd, because Lloyd in this season, my boy, he is hating on his dad pretty much the whole, even after his dad helps, he is hating on his dad because he didn't give him a birthday card and presumably because he's Oni. So the reason why I mentioned the birthday card is because this is one of my biggest like pet peeves, one of my big peeves about Lloyd in this season, because Lloyd here, when they're in looking for the serpentine in the sewers, he's like, plants don't uh forget to give you birthday cards, or maybe it's you don't have to give them birthday cards. I don't know, but he's complaining about the birthday card, and that stood out to me because when Garmadon came back both different times, Lloyd was caring for him, and he wasn't worried about how his dad was missing there when he was growing up. Like, he didn't care about that. But now all of a sudden, now that he finally got to meet up with his dad, when he's finally a good person again, at least to a certain extent, he's mad at him? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So he's just being a bad person. Not only that, but he's just not a great protagonist, if you ask me. And this is like his only focus season in the Wild Brain saga, which is kind of disappointing to me because I think he was very well written in other seasons. Wild Brain, even some of his appearances were good. He has the best development, I think, over the series, and this really brought it down for me. So I don't know, man. I don't like him. It's not just that, he also, like I said, he just has some issues with Harumi. He's being a jerk, but it is kind of enjoying to see him. How would the kids put it? Being a sigma. No, I'm sorry for that, hurt to say. Anyways, I don't know why I said that. That really hurt my heart. But like, he actually, that's that's a way to put it. He's just really like not falling for it. And it's kind of fun to watch. But besides that, he's weird and not nice to anyone, and just constantly in a bad mood, I feel like, and I don't like it. Um, Also, Wu is the second biggest complaint for a character wise, because he is just confusing. He's straight confusing because, so what he'll be doing, so he's there, okay, he's there in the beginning, and the ninja are like, we're gonna break the law to save our friend, which is a whole problem I have that I'll mention later. And Wu is like, nope, I'm not breaking the law with you, because you see, the law is the law. That's pretty much his point, is that he doesn't want to break the law. So he does it. But when the ninja finally do it like 2 or 3 times, it's all fine. And they break out of jail and stuff, and they're getting their vehicles. Wu finally decides to show up, but it's not necessary. Literally, Zane could have taken care of the guy behind him and just froze him. But instead, Zane just stands there. I'm pretty sure he just stands there, and Wu just shows up and knocks the guy out. He doesn't even knock him out. He just hits him, and it's just, nobody needed you there, Wu. You could have helped earlier, and maybe they wouldn't have been arrested. So I don't. It's pointless. Okay, it's pointless. And then he actually gets cool. He shows up with the dragon armor, which is another scene I'm gonna reference later because that has a problem. And he fights the Overlord, which is beautiful light fight. Like I said earlier, sorry. Um, and I love it. But then after that, he gets defeated. He gets thrown off the temple thing that's floating over the city, and the kids save him. And then he's like, "No, we must leave. You are kids." And then they're like, "No." They're insisting that they can stay and fight. And he's like, "Just no." And then after they finally fight the bad guys, he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll fight." And then he goes to save the ninja if they even survived. And it's just, I don't know, man. Overall, Wu is just confusing. He can't make up his mind in this season. Um, Honestly, the only character I do actually really appreciate, like there are characters I can tolerate, like Kai and Pythor and characters like that, but the only character I really enjoy in the season is the Overlord. Because actually, this season, his motivation makes sense. Because before he was just an evil force that has existed, which is fine for a villain, but it doesn't make them real interesting. Like you want to know their backstory. And the Overlord doesn't really have much to a backstory besides he used to fight the first Spinjitzu Master before he passed. But now what the Overlord wants is to corrupt the powers of creation so that he can balance everything and make everything evil, which actually kind of makes sense and is actually really interesting in my opinion. So I appreciate that. I'm glad the writers changed something about his motivation, and I just like that. So thank you. Good job, writers, with that. Besides that, not much other good writing this season. I'm sorry, but it's just true. Okay. The one I'm getting towards the end of the things I want to talk about. I guess I'm not quite there yet. The dialogue is a problem, and then I'll talk about the plot after that. I think I'll be done. The dialogue is horrendous in this season. Okay, because like there's one scene that I wanted to mention before. There are two or three, I think. Two, yeah, ones that stood out to me. I wanted to mention this video. Number one, in this scene that I mentioned earlier, where Wu shows up with the dragon armor. I think it's Lloyd that calls it the golden armor, which is a totally different armor, which is just dumb to me. Like, it's not a huge deal. I wasn't offended by it, but like, the golden armor is a totally different armor that has appeared multiple times and was worn by a villain. And the dragon armor is worn by the good guys, and they look totally different. So that's one problem. And then it's not like they even correct it. Wu just agrees. He's like, "Yeah, you didn't think I was going to set up from the fight, did you, Lloyd?" Haha. It's dumb. And then after that, later on, towards the end, towards the finale of the season and series entirely, Cole goes with Vinny and Racer 7 or Blazing H Speed, whatever you want to call her, to call Queen Vanya and all her entire army, because that's what she told him she would do. And Racer, I'm gonna call her Racer 7 because I hate the name Blaze H Speed. I'm not gonna say it one more time in this video. He Racer 7, sorry about that, is all like, "So you need me to help you call some queen?" And he's like, princess." And oh my gosh, that bothers me. That's even worse because there was like a ship between them. Like they had a relationship here in season 13, which didn't happen that long ago in the chronological order of the series, and honestly, just years that the seasons came out. And he's correcting her when he knows her, and he was there when she was crowned queen, and he's like, "No, she's a princess." Like, you were there, Cole. You were there when she became the queen. And that's not the only time he had dumb dialogue. Like, I love Cole. He's probably my second favorite ninja. But he has some stupid dialogue. Oh my gosh. It just bothers me. I hate it really cringe. It makes me cringe. I hate that scene. But yeah, that's another dialogue example. I think there are at least two more that I remembered noticing. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But those were the two examples I had. I wanted to mention this video. Finally, the plot overall. There are two halves to Crystalised. I'm going to talk about them in the order they came out, obviously. So the first one, saving Nia. This has nothing to do with any crystal-themed stuff, which is fine. I don't care. But it really shouldn't be called Crystalised. Like, at that point, you'd have no idea why it's called Crystalised. So they're saving Nia from being the ocean Um, and it's all right, I guess. I really don't know how they could have done anything else to make it better. Um, but I don't love it, especially when they go to jail because we've already seen the ninja go to jail in season 6. Like in Skybound, they did it, and I know technically that's like not on their records anymore because that was all reversed because time that everything happened in Skybound never happened technically, but like somehow Jay and Nia still remember it, and Nadakon probably does too. He's still somewhere. So, oh, I want to mention that too. I forgot about that. It was a whole idea I had. Anyways, so they go to jail again. This time without Nia, I guess. That's pretty much the only difference. And it's just dumb. It's a pointless part. The only purpose that serves in the series is really just to introduce Pythor, who easily could have just shown up at the Crystal Council. Like everybody knows who Pythor is. He's made like I think four or five other appearances in this series. We really don't need to see him again, okay? But whatever. They brought him back. I think he should have been replaced. I'll talk about that after this because I totally forgot about that idea until I mentioned Nauticon. You probably already know what I'm gonna say. Anyways, and it's just whatever, I'm fine that they use that sphere because that introduces her for the Crystal Council, so that all works. But they go to jail. Like, that is just unnecessary. I already explained why they didn't need to go to jail. So Lloyd finds out what the Crystal Council is, all that happens, and we're starting to, you know, ease, I think is the word, into part 2. So the Crystal King or the Overlord is back as the Crystal King, and he takes over, and it's all not great, but I don't really have much to say about the rest until the finale. Once it gets to the finale, pretty much all that happens is the ninja unlocked dragon form, which made great figures. I had the collection, I sold it because actually trying to get rid of some of my Legos because they were cluttering my room. I'm pretty clear now for look good, but they were cool. But they were totally unnecessary for the fight because once they get their dragon form, the other people are just fighting with baseball bats doing the exact same thing. The mech like Pixel's mech is doing more than the dragon form that the ninja have. So it's totally purposeless, kind of. I mean, not entirely, but it just kind of weakens the soldiers a little bit. Whatever, I guess. And then once it gets to the big climax, Lloyd and Garmadon are fighting the Overlord. Garmadon fakes his death, which didn't make me sad at all. For I don't know, this version of Garmadon isn't really that interesting to me overall. He's a little bit funny, I guess, but not that funny. And then Lloyd freaks out because his dad is dead. He finally cares about him now for some reason, and he gets his Oni form, which they could have. So they've been hinting at this. They've been showing us him slowly get his Oni power when he gets mad, which for some reason never happened before when he got mad. I don't know why. Um, and he just freaks out and becomes a full-on Oni. He gets the Oni form, he shoots a few blasts, and then he sees his reflection, which I'm guessing is supposed to be a reference to in season 11 when he sees the mirror that shows your greatest fears and he's his dad and he literally looks like his dad now. Not really, but you get the point. And then he freaks out in a bad, not in a way that gives him any power, just takes it away from him. And then the ninja end up giving up their powers to help Lloyd. They shoot it up. And I'm not going to lie, the scene where the Crystal King is shooting the giant beam of pink stuff down at the elements of creation and the music is absolutely awesome. That looks and sounds, I love it. But like I said, the animation is great in the season anyway, so that's not worth mentioning, I would guess. But and it just he gets the powers of creation. It becomes a dragon, which apparently was its original form. They get their powers. The ninja get their back in a book. I own it. I've read it. It's okay. Actually, pretty entertaining, I'd say. Anyways, go read it. But they get their powers back later, so there's no reason. They don't worry about it. They gave up their powers for this, and Lloyd uses the dragon to just blast the Overlord a few times, and he's gone now. There's no way that killed him forever. He's gone through worse for sure. So yeah, it's a pretty anticlimactic finale. Everything just falls apart for the crystal stuff does, and yeah, and then it's over. So I've been trying to come up with a better finale, and honestly, what I think should have been done is Lloyd never tries to get his Oni form. That's not a thing in this season because there's no way to make an Oni defeat the Overlord. That's not going to happen. So why even give Lloyd Oni form for a few seconds and then just take it away? I don't think they should have made him use it longer. I think they should have just left it out of the equation entirely. And that's like Garmadon's thing, I think is what they should have done. Because he is human. He's Oni, dragon, and human. So that's just way too much for him to have enough Oni to even accomplish Oni form. I feel like that, at least. I feel that way. So yeah, that's how it all went, and it kind of bugs me, but whatever. Um, and yeah, and then the last thing, the only real improvement I really wanted to mention, besides that, I guess, is Nauticon instead of Pythor. So think about it. Pythor already had a redemption in season 4. I know they brought him back after that, so whatever, but Day of the Departed is dumb anyways, so forget about that. Instead of Pythor, since he's not even a J villain, he's more of a Lloyd villain, they should have brought back Nauticon, because I'm pretty sure that Doc White confirmed that Nauticon also remembers what went down in Skybound. Clutch Powers clearly brought him out. So what could have happened is Clutch Powers accidentally let him out, and then the Crystal King, the Overlord, knew about this because he knows about evil, obviously, and he recruited Nauticon, who is an actual J villain, and put him on the Crystal Council. Whenever the villains get together, Jay never gets his own villain. In Day of the Departed, he got freaking Samakai. Like, what? So, just saying, Nauticon would have made a whole lot more sense instead of Pythor, but whatever. Also, then we wouldn't have 2 Serpentine, which would have been better anyways. That would have been great, honestly. But we didn't. We didn't see that, which made me sad, kind of. Overall, that's all I really have to say about Crystalised. And also, I'm feeling generous this morning. I'm recording this at 8:36 in the morning, in case you were wondering. So I just want to say I want to give a shout out. So that when my friend Michael, when he presumably gives me a shout out, I can say that he copied me. So go to Michael Makes Edits. Okay, let me explain what his channel is. Don't just go to it. If you like shoes, if you like spending all of your money on shoes, if you're just obsessed with shoes, then you should go to Michael Makes Edits channel because he makes videos about shoes. Also, football, European football, soccer, whatever you like to call it. I like to call it European football because I respect it as the real football. I do prefer American football to watch at least, but I think soccer might be the best sport. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really play sports, so I don't know. As you can tell, I'm recording YouTube videos about a kid's cartoon, although I guess I am I'm a teenager, but whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to give him a shout out, so hopefully he gives me a shout out someday, and I can say he got me also. NahanAerospace. These channels will both be in the description of the video. You don't have to search for them. If you like watching comedy, but like weird comedy. And if you want to see me featured in other YouTubers' videos, check out NahanAerospace because he is my great cousin. He's like second removed cousin or something, weird situation. And he makes interesting videos. Now we've been working on a series called XY. If you don't know what XY means, you probably haven't done ninth grade math, or maybe it was eighth grade math. I don't remember. But anyways, it's how you find a location on a map. You match up the letters on it. It's easy. It's fun. It's actually kind of fun to do that kind of math, honestly. And that's what that is, XY. We've been working on the second. We're about to record the third part of this series. The first one is pretty confusing and bad, but that's fine. So yeah, you want to see me collaborate with other YouTubers? I have collaborated with both, but Nathan Aerospace is where we're working right now. If you don't want to see my real face as much, probably just ignore that video. I'm barely in any of his videos. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy my channel and if you have not already, so that we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I believe we're either at 400 or we are 1 subscriber away from it at this point. So that's really exciting. Hopefully we can get to 1,000 by 2025. I'd really enjoy that. So please help me and do that. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please like it. This one was a lot longer than usual, but I just had a lot I wanted to talk about. I've been trying to find the right way to get this video together. So yeah, there you go. And I guess, thank you guys for watching. Check out my channel if you enjoy Ninjago a lot. Have a good day, and peace.